Hello Turtles! Welcome to Sarah Cat Monkey Bird's Game Development Arena, where there's been a lot of stuff that's happened over the last 2 weeks. Thanks to my early morning development schedule, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. every morning, every day. I stream this on Twitch, which you can find in the link below. Before LudumDare, I continued working on the stream overlay project, the little bot thing that I have going, and I added a command, poop, to allow Monkey Bird to poop on my face. Users have to pay 15 loyalty points to use this command, and it tends to add some comedic value. I also continued working on TurtleBrains, mainly the particle system that is still in the unstable area because I'm not quite sure where the API is going to go, and it's not quite feature complete in a way that I'm happy with. It does have hot loading of the particle sheets, or the JSON data that describes each of the particle effects. So that is a pretty neat thing to have. However, it's still got some work to do. I also made an auto build and deploy web game that I was able to use during LudumDare 40 to keep a live version of the game playing at all times. Anytime source was committed to SVN, this automated system would make a new build and deploy it to the web. And thanks to TS Yost, was able to notify the viewers on the stream that there's a new build available. And that leads us into the weekend of LudumDare 40, where the theme was, the more you have, the worse it is. I collaborated with a group of 6 other people, and we made a game called Hoverburner, which was a 2D racing game where you're racing around in hovercrafts that are attached with flamethrowers. The more fuel you have, the worse it is for your speed. And basically I collaborated with a good friend from college who did the AI programming and a bunch of the design tweaks for values and one of the tracks, Kevin Sheaves, who did the art for the entire project, T.S. Yost, who did a track design and a little bit of programming on the result screen, Brandon Valosek and Trivorek, who wrapped up the team doing the music and sound effects for audio support. It was a grand effort, and you can see more clicking on the link over here somewhere. After LudumDare, I've been focused on fixing TurtleBrains bugs and issues that were found during LudumDare. Primarily, remove entity from the entity manager still wasn't behaving quite as nicely as I wanted, despite my efforts earlier this summer to fix that. I've now made it so that it's actually really smooth. You can now remove an entity and it gets removed immediately when possible and delayed when needed. I also added a proper range check for the dynamic structure that caused the runtime issue on Linux. I had to add a hack in during LudumDare and was able to go back and fix that hack correctly. I've also been focused on improving the audio system in TurtleBrains. This has been something that I've been wanting to do for a while, like Fade Volume 2, which allows you to set the volume to either 0 or 1 and let it fade in or out and completely forget about it. You just call this function and then never have to deal with it again. I also added a way to do a volume of all effects or all music pieces. You can't yet declare a piece as a music piece, but I'm going to do that during this week. Looping sound bug, which we noticed in the Zoom Car World 3 engine sounds, has now been fixed. I also noticed it happened a couple times during my LudumDare entry. The bug is still in the LudumDare entry because that's built in with the old TurtleBrains, and that's the way it was. There's also the ability to pause sound from a player. You were unable to do this before. You could only play and stop, and once you stopped, the player kind of went out of scope and died. You can now pause, resume that play, you can stop and then even replay, and it all works pretty smoothly. I've also separated the audio data from the audio player, which helps reduce memory by more than half. So that's a significant savings. I went from somewhere about 90 megabytes down to around 45-50 megabytes. LudumDare 40's project. All in all, there's been a lot of good improvements for TurtleBrains, and I had a lot of fun during LudumDare. And that's not all, guys. There's more than just development that's happened this week. In fact, we've got a puppy. we've increased the number of workers in the game development arena. This is a working name still. We're not exactly committed to it, but this may be Indie Dog. Indie for independence, independent games, and he is awesome. He's doing a little bit of biting right now, which we're not supposed to be biting. No biting. But he has a Black Lab Shepherd mix, so he should be really smart. He is only 5 weeks old, so he's really tiny, guys. He's teeny tiny. Just a little tiny puppy. But he's going to grow. He's going to be big. I won't be able to do this very long. But yeah. Guys, we got a puppy. How awesome is this? I've been looking for a puppy for a really, really long time. Or wanting a puppy for a long time anyway. And we finally got one. Sarah Cat is still warming up to the idea. She's getting better and better as the days go on. And Monkey Bird's already like, this is awesome. We got a puppy. But yeah. So he's going to help me in my game dev efforts. In fact, if you've been watching my streams, linked in the description below, you have already noticed that I've got a puppy, because that happened Saturday morning. So until later, guys, have a good one.